Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of TEVAdrive. This time around we are driving the Lexus NX 450h Plus PHEV. We're driving it back to back with a Toyota, with its cousin, Toyota RAV4 Prime. They're both plug-in hybrids, SUVs with identical mechanicals underneath, just a different body. And of course, price difference, this Lexus being substantially more expensive. So the Toyota we drove was, base was around 50 and as equipped 60. This starts just above 60 and fully loaded is going to be well above 70. So both of these are in the different markets. The general Toyota competes with Ford. The more luxurious Lexus competes with Lincoln and other plug-in hybrid SUVs such as Audi, Mercedes, BMW, and so on. So let's start by showing you the car all around and inside and see what you think. This is, by the way, the top-of-the-line F-Sport version of the car. So you have the blacked-out grille, the huge grille in the front. By the way, Toyota put the wrong plate on it. It's a blue plate instead of the green plate, but that's okay. We have these specific Lexus LEDs here in front, and then we have regular LED fog lamps here at the bottom. We have the sensors here and the washers for the headlights here. Also, when you walk around to have a look at the tires, the Toyota, the top of the line Toyota was equipped with 19-inch tires. The Lexus is equipped with 20-inch rims and wider tires, lower profile tires as well. So that's going to affect its range as well, of course. And we're going to tell you about our test results in terms of the consumption and the total range. Let's take you around here, the side of the car. You can see the little F-Sport badge here on the side of the car. This is kind of the solar orange version of the car, and yesterday we took some beautiful pictures with the sunset here at the Georgian Bay waterfront. It looked pretty nice. The car is equipped, by the way, the door handles are all electric versus the Toyota manual opening. You can hear the click. It's an electric opening both on the outside and on the inside. You have the possibility of locking the car by touching this part here of the door handle. But if you are out of power, you likely have to pry this open and put your key inside. This car is equipped with the leather seating top of the line F-Sport interior, and you can see it on the floor mats. You can see it in the aluminum pedals, black and white leather sports seats inside. We'll go through all the menus and the screens in a moment when we show you the interior. Same in the back. So one of the differences, sorry about the garbage in the back here, we'll try and remove it. The space should be very similar to the Toyota cousin, and on this side we have the fuel filler cap. Just like in the Toyota, the charging port is located on the other side, on the passenger side of the back of the car. One of the differences with the Toyota is the fact that the car is equipped with a regular sunroof, not a panoramic sunroof. So the Toyota RAV4 Prime had a panorama sunroof with the front section being opening and the rear section being fixed. Here, this plug-in hybrid Lexus is not offered with a panorama roof. It's only offered with a regular sunroof. So that's kind of unusual. Also, the other difference is the Toyota RAV4 Prime, the blind on the sunroof on the inside was electric, where here the blind is manual. Kind of surprising, because this is supposed to be the luxury version of the two. Let us show you the trunk. So let's see how well the kick function works. The kick function works very well. Another surprise from Lexus versus its Toyota cousin, as we showed you the Toyota RAV4 Prime, right here under the floor of the trunk was hiding a spare tire. Here in the Lexus, no such thing. No spare tire. just extra storage, and likely there is, if we look further, there's gonna be a tire repair kit. So there's no spare tire here in the Lexus version of this luxury plug-in hybrid SUV. All the mechanics are the same, 300 horsepower total system power with 18 kilowatt-hour battery. We'll talk about the total range we were able to achieve in our hypermile exercise in a moment. For now, let's jump into the interior and show you the space boat in front. Here, let's just make a quick note of the badging, NX 450H+. As opposed to regular hybrid, the H+ signifying the plug-in hybrid version. Of course, they're all-wheel drive as well. Okay, so let's jump inside and show you the space inside. So I'm gonna position the seat quite comfortably. Now, with the Lexus being the more luxurious of the two, once you turn the car on, the seat moves forward, and also the wheel moves into the comfortable position. The adjustment for the steering wheel is electric versus the manual adjustment in the Toyota. So here we go, there's a button behind with electric adjustments up and down and telescopic. All right, so that's the difference between the Lexus and the Toyota. Space-wise, we're positioning it now comfortably for my sitting position, and in case you haven't watched any of our previous videos, I'm 190 centimeters tall, so fairly tall, and we'll see with my ideal position here in front, how comfortable another person of my size can sit in behind the driver as well. So just to remark here before we go through the different options on the main screens, here's a charging port right here. Another difference with a Toyota is that basically as soon as you put your phone down, it starts to charge. There's a little LED indicator here showing if the phone is charging. In the Toyota, there was an on-off button here, which means you have to make sure that the on-off button is on in order to charge your phone. There's an additional storage here for some small items, USB-C and regular USB here. Here's your gear shifter, again, different than Toyota. The way you shift it, it's different, so we're gonna show it to you. These EV options here are kind of similar to the Toyota RAV4. 2 cup holders, and interestingly enough, there is an access point for more storage, which can be opened either from the passenger side, or it can be opened from the driver's side, rather. Okay, so that's kind of neat. Of course, the actual interior is quite luxurious. A lot of leather all around. Nicer materials than the Toyota. But for now, let's just jump in the back and show you how spacious the back is. Just let's have a quick look here at the sport seats. In this F Sport version of the Lexus, a lot of lateral support. The seats have heating, cooling, just like in the Toyota, heating, cooling, lumbar support, and various multi-way adjustments of the seats, okay? So now let's jump in the back and see how comfortable space is in the back. So here I am in the back, and the space is almost identical to the Toyota RAV4 Prime. With my knees right now touching the front seat. It's not uncomfortable. It's not super spacious. This being a compact SUV, of course. You have the same type of armrest here with 2 cup holders, 40-60 split seats in the back. You have your climate vents in the middle only, nothing in the B-pillars. You have your seat heaters here that you can turn on or off on the center console here. A few more USB charging ports and a 12-volt port right here. So that's about it. And as you can see, there is no panorama sunroof here in the back. There's only a standard roof in the front with a manual shade, which is kind of surprising for a luxury car that's substantially expensive than its Toyota cousin. So again, as we mentioned, Toyota comes with a panorama roof with an electric shade. This Lexus comes only with a standard sunroof with a manual shade. All right, so that's about it for the interior and walk around, and let's jump in, show you some menu options on the screens, the differences with the Toyota, and let's take you for a spin. Okay, here we are inside a 2022 Lexus NX 450h Plus PHEV plug-in hybrid SUV from Lexus, which is the equivalent of the Toyota RAV4 Prime in a more luxurious and more expensive version. The most logical comparison that we can think of is Ford and Lincoln, which we drove recently. You can refer back to those videos for Ford Escape, a plug-in hybrid, and Lincoln Corsair plug-in hybrid. The difference with those cars is that the Escape is only available in front-wheel drive. The Lincoln is available in all-wheel drive. In the case of Toyota and Lexus, they are both identical. All-wheel drive systems, 300 horsepower, 18 kilowatt hours battery. So the battery is actually larger than the Ford Lincoln Duo, which is only 16. Here it is 18. So technically the range should be more, but is it? We'll tell you in a moment. For now, let's just go and show you the dashboard here, which happens to be fully digital. You also have the head-up display, which is exactly the same as in the Toyota RAV4 Prime we just drove last week. So the difference is that in the Toyota, the dashboard here is only partially digital. So you have the center of the display, which is digital, and then on the outside you have two analog gauges. Here the screen is of course also larger, which the car uses Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. What we found though in the Lexus, it's in order to use the navigation you have to be signed into your Lexus app, and then only then the navigation starts to work. So we'll go over the Lexus app options later on. For now, let's just show you the various options for the main dashboard here. The only way you can customize it is by changing the driving modes, and the driving modes you change by this turn dial, which is identical to the Toyota RAV4 Prime, except it's located here versus the Toyota, which was right here. So first of all, you can go to, if you turn it left, you go to Eco mode, and then you can see the turn, the screen turns kind of bluish. Then you can have normal. It almost looks identical to the Eco screen. Then we can go right to go sport mode, and the screen turns red, which kind of, it always does, and in all the electric cars, whenever you go for sport mode, your main dashboard screen turns red. And then there's a Sport Plus, which is a yet different screen. Now you can customize those via the menu options here on the center screen, but if you don't touch those options, basically these are the different dashboard options that you can keep. So let's keep it in Eco mode, because honestly, even though it has 300 horsepower, just like with its Toyota cousin, this is not a sporty SUV. So you might as well drive it in Eco mode to extend your electric range as much as possible, which is really the only thing we're interested in. And when we take you to a spin, we'll tell you the results of our hypermile exercise from Toronto to our lake house, just like we do with all the other electric and plug-in hybrid cars. Okay, so in terms of the center screen here, you have your the climate, which is here. You adjust the temperature simply by turning this dial here. You can change your fan speed from 1 to maximum, or you can just leave it in auto. You have your seat fans, cooling and heating right here. You can also turn your steering heat on or off here. It's a two-stage steering wheel heat, as opposed to a three-stage seat heater and cooler, separate for driver and separate for the passenger, of course. You can have AC mode in Eco or regular AC. So right now we're in regular AC. You have your front defroster, back defroster, and your volume for entertainment right here. So this is your mode, the dial to change your different modes of driving. As we showed you before, your wireless charging pad for your phone. And then of course your USB and USB-C plugs and different mode of driving that you change using this. So now the difference with the Toyota, which had a very standard gear shifter, here in the Lexus the shifter is much shorter, and then in order to put it in drive you have to shift it left and you press it towards you. To shift it to reverse, again you have to go to the side and forward. And now you're in reverse, and of course you can see the cameras occupying the entire front screen. To put it in park, you simply press the button. So now the weird thing is that in terms of putting it in sport mode, so first of all you put it in drive, and then to put it in sport mode, you simply press it towards you. Now we're in sport mode, and just like in the Toyota, remember this is same exact mechanical system as in the Toyota, the same hybrid system, same horsepower, same everything. In order to get more region, you have to use the sport mode. And just like in the Toyota, in order to increase your region, you press the minus shift paddle behind your wheel. As you can see, it's S3, S2, S1. And that's how you get the most region. It's not quite one pedal driving, but this is how you will get the strongest region, which will almost allow you to have one pedal like type of driving that a lot of the electric car drivers are used to. So again, of course, many will criticize that, you know, we are reviewing these plug-in hybrid cars. Toyota, as you know, have just introduced the fully electric equivalent, which is called the BZ4X on the Toyota side, and the Lexus RZ450E, which is basically a full electric Lexus version of this car. Again, very similar specs, except that on the full electric side, the Toyota is tuning down the power of the all-wheel drive version to only about 220 horsepower, where the Lexus version has full 300 horsepower. So it is actually more powerful. Where with the plug-in hybrids, they are basically the same 300 horsepower system, plug-in hybrid system. Okay, so that being said, let us quickly show you the options that you have here. So first of all is the navigation, then you have your entertainment screen. I don't have my phone on right now, but if I had my phone on connected, which by the way, the Toyota has a Android Auto system, which is a plug-in. You have to use a cable. In this Lexus, the Android Auto system is wireless. So as soon as you connect your phone, it automatically will recognize the Android Auto system, will plug it in, and the Android Auto signal would show up here on the main screen, and you can use your Android Auto phone apps via this main center screen. So right now, because I don't have my phone with me, the Android Auto does not appear. And you have the navigation, your entertainment, audio, your phone options. This is your statistics and again, just like in the Toyota, the system is biased towards the gas consumption. While you're driving in the full electric, it will show you the consumption in kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. The moment the car goes in a hybrid mode, it'll start showing you liters per 100 kilometers, which kind of makes sense. The only thing is, it doesn't show, just like in a Ford and Lincoln, it doesn't show you the total kilometers driven in electric mode, just like the Ford and Lincoln Duo did. Here, it'll simply show you the average fuel consumption for your trip. So it's kind of a little bit different. And then you have your settings. Again, you can personalize your settings inside the car in terms of the head-up display. The main display, there's some limited ways in which you can adjust the display on your dashboard. And other settings that you can change. In terms of the interior LED ambience lights, there's only about 4 or 5 options, so it's not full RGB pick your color type of situation. There's only 5 options you can choose from for your interior LED ambiance lighting. And we have some pictures on our Facebook page. Feel free to look at our Facebook page to see the night pictures of the interior in terms of what the LED lighting looks like. All right, so that's about it. Let's take you for a quick spin now. Let's put it in drive and let's put it in sport. Let's put it in S1 to have the maximum regen, and let's go for a spin. We have driven yesterday from Toronto to Georgian Bay using our hypermile method, using the Highway 27, so side roads, maximum 90 kilometers per hour in eco mode, and we did it without using any air conditioning. So on the Toyota side, even though the system is identical, the Toyota was able to drive up to 75 kilometers in all electric, and the Lexus was only able to achieve around 65 kilometers, which is 10 kilometers less. So the only way we can explain it is, number one, there was a bit of a headwind, north wind coming. The headwind was about 20 kilometers per hour, so that could have affected our range as well. Wow, AMC Pacer and an AMC Gremlin. Oh my gosh, AMC Eagle and AMC Pacer. Wow, what a classic. Sorry, I digress. And some nice classic gasoline cars here in this little village on the Georgian Bay waterfront. So strangely enough, we achieved a result of 10 kilometers less in pure EV mode in this Lexus versus its Toyota. So some of it was the headwind. Conditions were, the temperature was very similar in the high 20s on the way. So the only way we can explain, number one, was the headwind. Number two, Lexus is the more luxurious of the two, so there's more sound insulation inside the car, so the car is most likely heavier as well, a little bit heavier, which can affect the range. So in any case, the result was 65 kilometers in this Lexus versus 75 kilometers in the Toyota. Other than that, basically the driving feels about the same. Right now we're in pure EV mode. You can toggle, just like in the Toyota, you can toggle the various modes. They're identical to the Toyota RAV4 Prime, and all the controls are here. We can turn on the auto hold mode here. We're now in pure EV. We'll try and show you the sport mode as well in a moment. So now here, the difference with the Toyota, I don't know if you can show, you probably can't see the head-up display. The car recognizes the speed and even recognizes the stop signs. You also have an adaptive cruise with lane keeping assist, which is very similar to the Toyota. So to turn it on, you simply, now the difference with the Toyota is here you can change the functions around those buttons. They are just touch buttons, and the only way you can see what those buttons mean is on your head-up display. So there's no explanation for what those buttons they do. All of this, as soon as you touch it, all the explanations appear in your head-up display, which is different than the Toyota. So to turn on the system, you turn it on, it's off, it's back on now again. And to turn it on is basically here. Oh, by the way, we're in sport mode. You cannot use adaptive cruise in sport mode. So we have to back it out of sport mode into drive. And now we can, only now, we can start the adaptive cruise control. Lane tracing assist, adaptive cruise mode on, and now we can turn it on. And we're on. So you increase and decrease the speed here. You basically watch your, which is kind of nice. You have to watch your head-up display to know exactly what's going on. So we're setting the speed now. The lane keep assist is on, although there's no lane markings here in this little village. So the car will most likely not steer itself. Let's see if it will recognize the stop sign. A moment ago it did recognize the other stop sign. It does not recognize this one, so we have to brake manually. And because we're not in sport mode, there's virtually no regen unless we press the brake pedal, and then the car will, while pressing the brake pedal, the car will regen a bit and recharge the battery. But you have to choose either sport mode with one pedal style driving or the adaptive cruise. You cannot use the adaptive cruise in sport mode in both Toyota and Lexus. I'm not sure why that is, but that's the way they set it up, okay? I guess they figured when you're driving in sport mode, you shouldn't be using adaptive cruise because you have to be in control, keep your hands on the wheel at all times, and so on and so on. So again, to resume, you press here. Again, watch the display for instructions of what's happening, as you can see, and the distance from the car in front of you. All that appears in the head-up display here. By the way, the head-up display in both Toyota and Lexus, I can see it quite well, even while wearing my polarized sunglasses, where in some of the other cars, including our BMW, I could not see the head-up display very well while wearing my polarized sunglasses. So this is kind of a good news. No issues whatsoever being able to read the head-up display, even though I'm wearing fairly dark sunglasses. Let's try and turn it on again here to see if it will, if the car will. Let's turn it down to 50 in the village, the speed limit, and it's showing that the lane keep assist is on. It's showing green next to the speed limit, so it seems to be handling. Oh, there's a reminder in red that I should touch the wheel, but the steer assist, it's still on even though we're entering school zone, so the car knows that we're in a school zone. And the steer assist, it's still working. Here we go, a reminder so just like in the Toyota, the prompts to move the wheel will come fast and furious every 5 to 10 seconds or so. And the car does not slow down towards stop signs just like our Audi e-tron does. But the Autosteer works much better than our Audi e-tron. So let's try and resume here. There we go, we're resuming. Okay, and the Autosteer appears to be on. It shows the speed limit on the left where the Toyota would not recognize the speed limit. So you show the speed limit on the left, and it did correct itself. Now it recognized that the speed limit has increased to 60. It did not change the speed of the adaptive cruise. You have to manually change it up to the speed limit. There we go, we're now up to 60. So even though the car knows what the speed limit is, it will not adjust the car speed. Our Audi e-tron, as you know, will adjust automatically to the speed limit, which is kind of nice. So not sure why you would have the speed limit recognition without the car adjusting to the speed limit, right? That would be, I guess, a question for your Toyota Lexus people. I'm sure it can be easily changed in over-the-air updates. By the way, we have to yet confirm whether Toyota Lexus cars can be updated over the air, including their fully electric versions of these cars that were just introduced. We'll try and see how well the car will handle slight curves on the 4-lane highway here near Midland. So right now we're exactly doing let's see how it handles the turn here in the village. Yeah, it recognized there's a curve in the road. It's handling the curve quite well. And now we're turning right. So we have to do, of course, there's no automatic lane change. We have to do the maneuver manually. We're entering Highway 12, which is a 4-lane highway near Midland. So let's resume. And the speed limit here, let's see if the car will recognize right away. Yes, the car knows that the speed limit is 80s, but again, it will not adjust the speed automatically. We have to adjust the speed manually to the speed limit. There we go. And we are in self-steer and adaptive cruise on Highway 12. and the car is handling the distance from the car in front of us quite well as it auto steers, but it prompts us to touch the wheel every 10 to 20 seconds or so. So it's doing quite well. And again, we're entering a zone with a lower speed limit. You will see in the display the speed limit change to 60, but the car does not slow down. The only way it's going to slow down is if the car in front of us, here we go, the speed limit has changed. The car has not changed the speed. We have to manually adjust the speed by touching the buttons here. There we go. Now we're changing the speed limit manually. So the car will not adjust the speed automatically, even though it knows what the speed limit is in the area, which is kind of a pity, right? So again, our general impression of this car, yes, it is a more luxurious version. However, a bit of a disappointment is the fact that you cannot get the panorama roof, and you have the manual shade for the sunroof here. Only regular sunroof, no panorama roof option for the plug-in hybrid version of the Lexus NX 450h Plus, where the Toyota does offer panorama roof with the electric sunshade. The other difference being that there's a full spare tire in the back of the Toyota, and there is no such thing in the Lexus, which is kind of surprising. Of course, the car does appear to be more luxurious inside, a bigger center screen here, fully digital dashboard, where the Toyota is only partially digital. The screen here, the windscreen is larger, so there's better visibility here. The screen sits lower, does not obstruct your view in front. Good visibility to the side and to the back of the car. But there's a substantial price difference, just like with all Toyota and their Lexus versions, right? Similar to Ford and Lincoln versions of the similar cars, which we drove recently. The other competition for this car would be cars such as plug-in hybrid Mercedes, Audi, and BMW cars. So Mercedes just came up with another GLC 350e plug-in hybrid. There's actually two plug-in hybrid versions of the car. The BMW has the X3 plug-in hybrid, and the Audi has a Q5 plug-in hybrid. So this is where this car would compete with in terms of price and specs and everything else. So thank goodness there's quite a few choices for plug-in hybrid cars, and we encourage you to test drive all of these cars, as well as full electric versions of these cars, to see which car fits your lifestyle best. The reason we're testing all these plug-in hybrid cars instead of simply only all electric versions is that at this stage, the full electric versions of the cars do not fit everyone's lifestyle. So that's why we are glad that there's plug-in hybrid versions of various sedans and SUVs offered by various manufacturers, so that the people out there can get comfortable with electric driving and learn how to get comfortable with electric driving and charging and all that before they perhaps jump into full electric. We found that a lot of people who are jumping into full electric, sometimes they go back to gas because those cars would not fit their lifestyle. The other thing that you can see here in the head-up display, right now you can see cross traffic alert, which shows kind of virtual reality arrows pointing pointing to the cross traffic alert on this car. But that's the only virtual reality part of the system. So the system is capable of virtual reality navigation. However, the navigation in your head-up display shows just like a regular navigation, simple static arrow pointing to where you're supposed to turn, where the cross traffic alert is more of an animated arrow showing where the traffic is coming from. So it's kind of unusual. Anyways, we enjoyed our time with both the Toyota and Lexus versions of these cars. If you have any questions regarding these cars, feel free to comment, and we'll be happy to respond to your questions. And as usual, do not forget to press the subscribe button on our YouTube page in order to be informed when the new videos are made available on our page. Thank you for watching and see you at our next review.